welcome to 20 for 20. My name is Kathleen Draper with the Elks National Foundation. Today, I'm joined by Luciana Soria Robles, a 2020 Top 20 Most Valuable Student Scholar, sponsored by Van Nuys Versada, California, Lodge number 2790. Thank you so much for joining us today, Luciana.
No, thank you for having me.
And first of all, I'll just have you introduce yourself and tell us where you're from.
Yeah, sure. So my name's Luciana Soria Robles. I was actually born in Bolivia, but my family moved to Los Angeles, California a few years ago. But currently, I'm calling from a dorm at Harvard University. So,
Oh, that's so exciting. So you've started classes, you've moved into your dorm. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your move-in and what you're studying and what kind of classes you're taking?
yeah, sure. So I moved in a few days ago, a little bit more than a week. It's been very crazy, but I definitely love the campus. The East Coast weather is a lot different for me, but it's definitely been pretty interesting. And then in terms of what I plan to study, although I'm not entirely sure right now, I'm looking at either a concentration in government or economics. And then I guess my reasoning for it is, I guess throughout my life, I've seen different things in our society that kind of needs to be fixed or should be fixed. I think even more throughout these last few months in quarantine, we've seen a lot of different issues. And just one thing that my mom, my sister, and I, we always talk about is gender inequality or the issue of gender inequality. And yes, progress has been made in the US, but I think there's still a lot that needs to be done. And of course, internationally, there needs a lot to be done. Another thing I'm passionate about is education, education in general, but I think more specifically for students and children in low income and minority communities, and kind of just giving them an equal education as students who may be in more privileged communities, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then economics, I don't know, I feel like in the future, if I do go into a career in politics or something related, since our society kind of really prioritizes our economy, I feel like just knowing a lot in that area would really help me to be more successful.
Yeah, that's awesome. And there are a lot of Elks scholars on campus at Harvard. So have you had a chance to meet up with anybody or see anybody from a social distance?
Actually, yeah, I was wearing my Elks t-shirt the other day just to grab lunch or something. And actually, a friend I've had for a while, he saw my T-shirt and we both didn't know that we were Elks scholars.
Oh my God.
But kind of initiated another conversation. We both knew that we loved doing community service, but we realized just how much we love doing it. Same interest in education and stuff, so that definitely brought us a lot closer together. But just other people not necessarily friends, but acquaintances that I've met, it's usually been oh, you're wearing your t-shirt or sweater, and it's oh.
That's so funny. What a small world. The Elks family is everywhere. It is a huge network. So that's exciting that you connected with someone over that. And you just mentioned that you really are passionate about service. So what does service mean to you?
Yeah. So as I mentioned, my family and I, we moved here about 10 years ago. Obviously a hard transition and everything. And aside from the support I've had from my family, I think just getting a lot of help and encouragement from teachers, mentors, or adults in general, and programs in general has really get me to where I am today. I really don't think I would be here had I not gotten that support. So kind of that service I've gotten, I think it's very important to give back. And not only just my community, but just in general, it's just something that I've always been passionate about and genuinely enjoy doing it. And it's something important for just my whole family. So yeah, it's just been in my life forever.
Yeah. And what is something that you're most proud of?
um, I think in high school, so my sister and I, we were both in this club called Dream It Be It, and it's basically a woman empowerment club. So in junior year, I became president, and we've always the main purpose is just to show the young women at our school that's predominantly low income and Hispanic, just show them that you can achieve whatever you want to. There's different ways that you can seek support, different programs that are willing to provide it. And like obviously we try to provide these supports and like make it more accessible to them. But in junior year, like we kind of realized that yes, we've been providing a lot of support for the girls at our club, but we kind of wanted to make it more of like a school-wide thing. So like with all the girls and everything, we decided to have like a big assembly that's more accessible to everyone. And instead of just doing it over lunch, we wanted to do it like throughout the like actual class period. So it was like a longer time, can get more information out there. And for the first one, we decided to just kind of like keep it less about like information in general, but just have like these discussions that are very important. So I went to a few teachers, asked them if we could, like steal a few of their students to come to our assembly. And like a few teachers were very enthusiastic and they brought their students. It was very cool. But yeah, we brought 3 speakers and there were these 3 amazing, strong women, and they came to speak on their experiences with gender inequality, familial obligations, and sexual harassment. So obviously 3 topics that are very serious and kind of like taboo in schools or like institutions in general. And yeah, I guess just seeing like the emotions in like the individuals, because it wasn't just girls at this point, it was girls and guys, and just seeing I don't know, it's like very different from just being, I don't know, learning from a textbook. It's very different, like learning from others' experiences. And I guess specifically for when we were talking about sexual harassment, like you could see that it definitely has affected a lot of people. And not to say that it was surprising, but it was definitely not expected just how many people. And that's something I'll never forget. And a few like girls actually came up to like the speaker and they were kind of expressing how this helped empower them a little bit and kind of made them realize that like they weren't alone. And like speaking privately is one thing, but making it a public discussion definitely made it easier. So I think that's definitely something that like really hit me.
That's really, really cool that you were able to be a part of that and be able to help organize that, and that you were able to provide kind of an environment that people felt safe in and supported. So it's really awesome. And then what is being an Elks Scholar going to help you do?
Oh, so much. I think so far, I mean, kind of just speaking of how I met like a few people, that's been just like an incredible network. But aside from that, I know like at a young age, sometimes it's hard to like see how much you can do. I know like when I received the email saying like congratulations, um, it gave me like a little bit of a confidence boost, if that makes sense. Because I was like, okay, yes, I can do a lot. And now I have like a group of people that are not only like they not only see that I can do these things, but are gonna support me in doing them. So definitely I can like with the help of Elks, I'm gonna do a lot more and I'll find different ways and hopefully try to expand it, not just from one high school, but like hopefully to many more, right? But yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you kind of touched on, being able to meet people and having that network. And you were able to meet some other members of the top 20 with our virtual leadership weekend, which is very different this year from our leadership weekends in the past. But what was your favorite part of the top 20 virtual leadership weekend?
Ooh, well, all of it was very fun actually, but I think in the beginning, I was very nervous to like meet all the other students because it's very intimidating. But I remember we had this like shield activity where we basically wrote like I believe it was like our interests, our accomplishments, and 2 other things. But yeah, I don't know, just hearing about everyone's accomplishments was really like I was so happy for them, and I was like, wow, we have some very amazing people like in our world and like in our country. So that was definitely like amazing to see, and I got to meet like a lot of people that had similar interests as me. People that are gonna be like are at Harvard right now, so definitely like helped calm me down those nerves too.
Yeah, those shields, that activity was really awesome. And I mean, I was intimidated going into the leadership weekend and I work for the ENF, but I knew how amazing you all were. And I was so excited to get to know you all better. And the shield activity, I think, really brought that out, brought out aspects of people's personalities and the things that they care about. So it was a really cool way to get to know you as scholars. And it was, like you said, an awesome way for you all to get to know each other. So yeah, that was probably my favorite part of it as well. But what were you doing when you found out that you were a top 20 scholar?
I was actually in class. So I was in my computer science class, yeah. and she was going over like a lecture PowerPoint. So a lot of people didn't have their cameras on. I had it on just because I felt bad, but I received this email, and like usually I don't check emails that like frequently, but it's at like Elks, and it's at something with like congrats. Like I didn't finish the congratulations; it said con, and I was like, oh no. So like turned off my video and I opened the email and I was like, oh my god, I was so ecstatic. So I like ran to my mom, and actually my grandparents are staying with us right now because they were supposed to come for my graduation from Bolivia. But since everything happened, they like just stayed for for the whole time. So yeah, I just like ran down and I was like, Mom, what? And then we just like called my sister because she was still like at her university at the time. And then, yeah, I think we called like basically everyone in our family, like even people in Bolivia. Would just like tell them, oh yeah, she got this scholarship, and then just like hang up, call someone else, she got this scholarship. But yeah, it was just very exciting.
That is so exciting. And that's really exciting that your grandparents got to be there for that. That's a really special thing to be present for. And it's nice that, one of the, I guess not a perk, but is being able to spend time with your family, especially when you're at home. Being able to work from home has given me the chance to do that. So that's nice that you have had the time to spend with your grandparents too.
Definitely.
And what makes you an Elk Scholar?
I think just I think the main thing is just like my love for community service, because I know a lot of people like do it and it's like a very important part of their life. But I think what distinguishes us is like the genuine love for doing it and like continue wanting to find other ways and like expanding it. And I think that I've definitely like found those similarities with other Elk scholars. And hopefully I'll meet more and we can find like similar interests in like education, feminism, etc. So
Yeah. And what is something that you're passionate outside of academics and service?
so like I said, I'm Bolivian, and a few years ago, we actually went back to like visit some family, take care of some things, and like around July every year, there's like this sort of like entrance festival thing, where just like teenagers or like young adults, we kind of like dance like folkloric dances, and it's like the whole day. It's very fun, but also like very educational. So since I have an older cousin, my sister and I were able to kind of like do it with them. I learned a lot. Like I've always been close to like my Bolivian culture, so definitely like learning more dances, learning more about like the history of Bolivia has been interesting. And actually, one of the courses I'm taking right now, I've learned a lot more about Bolivia, so that's been very, very cool.
That's so cool that you've been able to kind of expand that interest and excitement about, your culture and where you're from into college and be able to incorporate that. That's awesome. And if you could say anything to the Elks, what would you say?
Oh, I would say thank you so much. Like I said, I think it's definitely helped me come out of my shell more and be more confident in asking others for help, but also looking for other ways to like expand what I want to do and really pursue everything that I want to. And of course, like the actual financial scholarship, it's helped with not having to worry too much about that aspect and more focus on my studies and actually pursuing what I really want to do in the future. So it's just been a tremendous help. Overall, network amazing, people from my age amazing, and it's just been truly, truly like one of the best experiences of my life.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Luciana. We really appreciate it. Thank you to all of our viewers for tuning in. If you like the show, hit the like button below and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you for helping us build stronger communities and connecting with the hashtag Elks family. See you next time. Bye.